This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
You're listening to the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. And now, here's your host, Lisa Rangel.
Welcome and hello. Welcome to the 7th episode of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. I am Lisa Rangel, host of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast and founder of Chameleon Resumes. We are an executive resume writing and job search consultancy firm that helps executives and rising leaders land their next position faster. And I'm excited to be here with you today because we're going to show you how to stay marketable to your network, which is one of the many ways to have job security in today's economy and proactively take care of your career. In past episodes, we talked about the only way to truly protect yourself from job loss is to pretend you're fired today and then make a list of activities that you would do while working to find your next job. Always having this list in the works, having your resume ready, your profile done, your network primed is the best path to always be working and have career continuity and not have gaps between employment. As we've said in episode 1, the first thing on that pretend you're fired today list is dusting off that resume. Get it up to speed. In the last few episodes, we looked at how to format the document according to today's trends and how to find the right keywords to put into your resume so you catch the attention of hiring managers, recruiters, and most importantly, your network. In the recent past episodes, we looked at formatting an IT resume. We also looked at avoiding resume mistakes. And today we're going to show you how to write an achievement-driven resume for marketing and finance executives so you can outshine your competition within your field and always be the candidate that gets that exploratory interview call. And frankly, whether it's an exploratory interview call or an actual interview for a job opening, you want that call. And writing an achievement-based resume will always pique the interest of hiring managers wanting top talent. So let's get to this. Successful CFOs and CMOs use their resumes as marketing collateral to position themselves as engaging leaders that are ahead of the pack. Making your resume visually stand out is the best way to make an initial strong impression as a chief financial officer or healthcare executive. You want to harness the impact of that visual impression. You want to use effective language and have concrete fiscal achievements measured all into a streamlined story and told on a visually dynamic resume format. This can increase the opportunities that come your way in a passive manner to land that coveted next position. You need to have this done while you're working. And you can see an example of what I'm talking about. If you want to see an example of a resume that has done this, go to resumecheatsheet.com and you can download a real-life resume sample and also get access to more training on this topic. In today's episode, we're going to cover 6 steps that will help you create a powerful finance, marketing, or healthcare leadership resume, and it helps you stay current and landing that next role if you need to. First, you want to ditch that objective statement. Instead, in that top prime resume real estate section, that top 1/4 or 1/3 of your resume, you want to write a captivating summary of your achievements and how they're relevant to a prospective employer and how they will benefit from hiring you. In this competitive market, in this uncertain economic period that we're in, companies want to hire healthcare leaders, chief financial officers, chief marketing officers who know and can show what results they can bring to an organization. And they don't want just a list of what topical items you did in the past. So replace your objective statement with a forward-looking executive summary of your skill set and the results achieved from that skill set that are relevant to your audience where you're sending this document to. The summary should include 2 or 3 situation achievement statements that demonstrate how you've brought concrete results with actions that you've implemented or managed a team to implement. You want to draw these points out from your story, and this will help you create an authentic brand. As I've said before, the summary section, this top 1/4, 1/3 of the first page of the resume is prime resume real estate. It's where you make your best first impression as a healthcare executive, as a CMO, or as a CFO. So use it wisely and make sure it's impactful. An effective executive summary will improve placement in search results. It will make a positive visual first impression when somebody opens it on their phone or on their desktop. And it increases phone calls received for interviews. I've seen it with client after client. It makes you look like the leader amongst other resumes that don't have a dynamic presentation, and they use a lot of tasks and flat language. So make sure that you're ditching that objective statement and you're using like a kapow summary that really showcases your relevant achievements. Second, you want to showcase your soft skills along strong financial achievements. And this is regardless of your profession or your industry. You don't want to have the readers get lost in your resume with a high volume of numbers and results. You want to balance it with financial achievement. Your executive resume will be read by financial, marketing, non-financial, non-marketing types. If you're a healthcare leader, they're going to be read by more of the business side of healthcare. So you need to make sure that your resume is universally digested by all audiences who are going to read it. You must cater to all of your audiences at a leadership level. I know you have impressive credentials and achievements, but don't let the metrics overshadow your human capital accomplishments. You hired a marketing team of 10, indicate the results that team brought, in addition to citing the hiring achievements that you did. If you did a merger and acquisition, state how you led the due diligence that led to the deal happening, but indicate the size of the deal, not only in terms of money, but in terms of people, how many people were retained. It shows that you were good at doing the people management of the integration. And even if you manage the HR function as part of your job, it shows you did that. So it's not just the money part. The key to it is the people part also, the soft skill part. Give it context and include all of it. Don't just state the skill. On the topic of people leads us to the third step. Be sure to showcase your ability to attract talent in your field and manage those teams of talent with measurable examples. So here's an example with a finance executive. Effective financial executives not only manage the numbers, but they successfully manage the people to bring about those desired results. Successful CFOs move past the number crunching and setting up of deals, and they influence key decision makers. They nurture financial relationships for access to credit. They possess sharp negotiation skills. If they're looking for funding, they attract key talent to their teams. Here's another example for marketing. Successful CMOs move past the marketing campaigns and the creative elements, and they show how they influence the executive teams, how they nurture affiliate partnerships. They demonstrate how their creativity produces revenue, profitable revenue. And they're not just focused on exposure, because exposure can be costly if it doesn't bring revenue. And successful CMOs also bring high-performing talent to their teams. You want to hire a CMO or any leader for that matter that people want to work for. So be that person. Don't lose the sight of importance of your people skills because you're so focused on the numbers. You need to bring both and show how they contributed to your past success and how they will continue to contribute to your future success. Next, right-size the context of your achievements for your prospective audience. Talking about your biggest achievement is not always the best move. You have to look at your audience. Ensure you showcase your achievements in a way that is relevant to the company you are talking to. If you saved $25 million on one initiative within a $200 million employer, but now you're applying to a firm whose total revenues are $25 million, if you're focused so much on being a $25 million initiative success story within a $200 million company, the $25 million company may not think you're quite right for them. So you need to right-size your achievement. Choose achievements that are within the financial scope and that are relevant of the prospective company. Consider using percentages of your biggest success if it is relevant to the smaller company or the larger company. This can go in either direction. And make sure that you're coming across relevant to your prospective employer. Another tactic to use is to focus on downplaying or highlighting the size of regional budgets versus global budgets, business lines versus other business entity sizes. You want to match the prospect, essentially, to show relevancy. If the company that you're targeting wants to grow, show how you've had that experience of what they want, how big they want to be down the line, and you've done it. So you'll know all the needs and the potholes to avoid, right? The needs to have and the potholes to avoid on that path to getting there. They're going to be interested in that experience because you've already been there where they want to go. Next, number 5 here, speak simply about your results for everyone to understand. Outline your financial, healthcare, and marketing achievements in universal language. And don't just use discipline-specific lingo. You want to appeal to many types of audiences that will read your resume. When you're going for a leadership or a rising leader type of role, Multidiscipline managers are going to be looking at your resume. So you may be most comfortable speaking in acronyms if you're a finance person, such as ROI or DSOs, but not every executive hiring team member is going to necessarily be comfortable speaking in financial acronyms. So they may understand the finance jargon, but you want to speak about finance in approachable terms, in an inclusive manner, to be understood by everyone, because it will subliminally convey the message that you can work with non-financial types or whatever non-discipline you are. So if you're a marketing person, speak again in universal terms so non-marketing people can understand. Same with healthcare, anything, any discipline that you're in. So for instance, consider changing phrases like reduced DSOs by 9 days to reduced accounts receivable by 14% and improved positive cash flow with tighter payment terms. That last part, reduced accounts receivable by 14% and improved cash flow with tighter payment terms, is going to be understandable to most people. Reduced DSOs by 9 days, not everybody's going to get that. So make sure you're speaking in universal terms that everyone can understand. Lastly here, number 6, you want to stand for something and be yourself in your resume. Content on your resume, social media profiles, and communications should be congruent with your personality, beliefs, and your work style. If you're an extroverted personality, making bold promotional statements on your resume can support your first in-person impression if you're extroverted. That will be in alignment. However, if you're more of an introvert, you may want to have a document that's rooted heavily in factual content and downplays any robust, colorful language, because in person, then you're not this outward, robust person. You need to make sure that your resume will be in line with the person who's going to show up on the interview. You want to also showcase yourself in the best light. So be who you are on paper, online, and in person. So while you're customizing it to meet the needs of that prospective employer or meet the needs of that prospective person in an exploratory discussion, you need to stay true to yourself. And it's better to be specific than it is to be broad. When you're broad, you appeal to nothing. When you're specific, you can appeal to that specific audience. And also the person receiving your specific request or your specific brand can also then come back to you and say, well, I don't have this, but I may have this. Would you be interested in talking about this? It's amazing when you're specific, people present options, even if they're not quite right. But when you're broad, they don't know where to latch their head on. They don't know where to latch their ideas onto, and they end up not having anything for you. So I'm telling you, be specific and stand for something. The resume of a successful healthcare executive, chief financial officer, chief marketing officer must not only demonstrate that you know the how and the why behind the numbers and the marketing and your healthcare expertise, but it also must outline how you communicated effectively with managers, staff, maybe lenders, shareholders, executive committees, vendors, other key partners, affiliate relationships. Frankly, the best leaders, no matter what their discipline, whatever their expertise is, will show how they think strategically, how they design and implement business plans, they inspire leadership outside of their expertise, and they work well with the entire executive management team to solidify its company's future. That's the key. Bravo. I want to congratulate you for writing this resume before you need it. You are part of a minority of people who will be proactive about this. And if you're currently not working, I don't want you to worry. You now know what you need to do. And you can make your healthcare or finance or marketing resume stronger today with what we just talked about. And I want you to take action on today's episode. Go to resumecheatsheet.com and you can download the free resume sample that I have there that will outline what I discussed today. And I'm going to want you to compare your resume to the sample at resumecheatsheet.com. What do you see that you have the same? What are you doing right? What do you notice that's missing? What can you improve upon? This is what I want you to do to make this better. So go to resumecheatsheet.com, download the cheat sheet if you haven't already, and then for the next episode, I want you to have this cheat sheet ready and your improvements done. So I'm going to show you how to incorporate the soft skills on your resume in an achievement-like manner. I've mentioned it the last 2 episodes. You need to do this for an executive resume, for a rising leader resume. And if you can incorporate your soft skills on your resume in an achievement-like manner, I'm telling you, no one does this, and it's an awesome way to inch yourself out past your competitors and for the audiences that are looking passively for top talent. Top talent is always in demand, and you want to come across that way before you need it. And this way, you'll get that decision maker's attention. So for the next few episodes of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast, we're going to go through a list of tactics and activities for you to do now while you're still working. And we're going to assume you pretend you were let go today, and we're going to do this list, have you do a little bit every day, ensure you're always ready for whatever the world brings your way. My friend saved me with her priceless advice. Pretend you're fired today, and I'm paying it forward with you. And I ask you to pay this sentiment forward and share it with as many executives and rising professionals who you feel will benefit from this build it before you need it advice. And to get a jump on this first item from the first episode and what we continue to talk about today on the Pretend You're Fired Today activity list is get your resume ready. So let's do that and get a jump on that. Again, go to resumecheatsheet.com, download the freebie there on how to write your resume easily. In the next episode, we'll tackle the next steps on showcasing soft skills in your resume for a leadership role and have you stand out amongst your competition. I look forward to your progress. Thanks for joining me today, and see you next week.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.